Welcome back. The Simon & Garfunkel plan, which means the City of Santa Clarita Spotlight Show. We're on the third Friday of every month. We talk about all things Santa Clarita and put a spotlight on City Hall. In the studio with me, Phil, Donna, and our very own George Cummings.
Hello. That was Simon & Garfunkel?
Oh, George, you
Are we
know
gonna?
it
That's
well.
what we're going to talk about.
Didn't
them,
you
right?
tour with them briefly?
Yeah, I did. I was the opening act.
Those were wild, heady days.
They're a lot crazier. They only come out with acoustic guitars, but they are pretty crazy. You should
Did
see
they smash them?
Paul Simon's Hendrix impression is insane.
I would imagine.
But what am I doing here?
We were just talking about the arts. Phil was talking about a few exhibits coming up, and we were just briefly touching on those, Phil.
And I can quickly wrap that up. Our three
Take your
other
time.
exhibits are at the three city libraries. So Newhall, Canyon Country, and Valencia. Actually, there's nothing in Valencia right now, but there will be shortly. And then we're opening a space on Town Center Drive in Space 125, which will be tagged the Museum of Imagination Santa Clarita. And so that'll be kicking off hopefully beginning of next month with an exhibit on trees.
Oh, really?
Already
Trees.
sounds exciting. We throw Museum of Imagination in
Yeah, I
there.
was just gonna.
Well, and it's a
Imagination
little
Land.
game on
Love it.
Museum of Imagination Santa Clarita abbreviates to miscellaneous.
Really?
MISC.
Holy
See,
moly!
we
what you
actually
did there
sit around
after
and
you
think
pointed
about
it
this
out to
stuff.
me.
I know.
That's why you guys, are doing what you're doing. It's awesome.
And speaking of doing what you're doing, George, you're very involved in the theater scene.
Every now and then.
You know about the arts in Santa Clarita. What is the support like for the city as far as the theater? And what are your thoughts on the Newhall Auditorium? Have you ever performed in there? You were around.
The
when it was
Newhall
still-
Auditorium.
Still active, right? You were
I
on
don't
the stage
think.
then.
I don't think. Yeah. Yeah, me and Bill Hart, after we finished our silent
And
movies, and no, we have Fritz the horse. Yes, poor Fritz, stopped and mounted. Not necessarily in that order, but we are talking about the Hart Auditorium. Is that what you said?
Right.
I've never performed there.
Okay. What about the venues? What are some of your favorites? In
Okay,
the city?
well, I've been to actually the Repertory East Playhouse Canyon Theater, of course. I've worked there for years and years and years and years. The Canyon Theater back when I had a long, flowing locks.
I saw Facebook
and-
pictures. I
and,
believe
you
there
know,
was even a mullet at one
That,
time.
yes, they were still fashionable. But yeah,
Well,
I've been
I don't
around.
know about
I will tell you
fashionable.
though, and in all seriousness, the theater community here is like rock solid. We really have an art community here, and not a lot of people think about that. They look at Santa Clarita as a bedroom community. Forget the fact that we have one of the most popular art colleges here in America, here in Valencia. And that we actually have a lot of filmmakers, a lot of musicians, and a lot of writers, and everything else. And those are things like what we highlight on the Friday matinee. And we do get people from out of the area, but also really focus on the talent that's here in town. Like today at noon, we have Mike Levine, who has been in numerous productions at the Canyon Theater Guild and the Repertory East Playhouse. Is someone that a lot of people look up to as a mentor and really a major figure here in
Now,
the
is he
Santa
a
Clarita
producer
Valley.
or a director or what?
He
what
has
role does he
directed,
really
but
play?
mostly he acts. And as he gets older, he tries to do less and less. Like he's going to be playing Mr. Potter in the upcoming It's a Wonderful Life. The Canyon
cool.
Theater Guild's doing a stage version of that again. I think he's doing it really literally just so he could sit around on stage and be wheeled around. I'm going to have to ask about that because, but and that's the thing, taking those roles that are still crucial, but not as much. But I've worked with him many times, and that's a guy that really, you learn a lot. He's also done, before he came to Santa Clarita, he's from New York originally, and then moved to LA and has done, theater all over, and also was in the film industry too. So those are the things that are just.
And you mentioned the Arts College, and there's also COC, obviously, has a theater department. They work with the Santa Clarita Performing Arts Center. They put on shows there. What kind of a role does that play? Does that help, obviously, stimulate the local players and kind of get involvement in theater going?
I'll tell you, Perry, as I've been around the theater as long as I have here in Santa Clarita, seeing the kids who are little kids who have grown up and gone to either COC or Cal Arts and are active and have gone through the theater programs at Canyon Theater Guild, for example, the afternoons programs or the summer programs, and actually are in the business in some form or another. Some who are actually touring, some who are in the production end of it and making a living. There's a couple that I know who are in production at CBS now.
Feel free to name drop.
Leah DePaula, Daniel Barsky. Let me see. Lauren Pearsall, who is on the cruise ships traveling all over the world
Oh, that's cool.
as a stage manager, and doing that.
And that all came from here.
Mostly, yeah, from either the Repertory East Playhouse and or the Canyon Theater Guild. I could name drop a few more, but I have a short attention. Actually, Leah DePaula's brother, Joshua travels around the world and performs at venues and also on the cruise ships and things like that. So
Cool.
there are plenty of opportunities here for parents who want their kids to be in the business of getting started without a whole lot of monetary investment or anything, but it's a good opportunity to see how they work it.
Right, and it doesn't cost anything per se to come out and join
For the
guild,
shows, not at all. And there are plenty of opportunities for. Thank you, Peter. There are plenty of opportunities for kids to get involved, but there are also after-school and education programs that the Catania Theater Guild has that are fee-based, but you don't have to in order to get involved now. And they're always looking for people, volunteers and actors.
right? And Donna, you're involved in a lot of the work with the schools. Do you
Yes,
guys have any theater
absolutely.
programs?
And it's kind of funny that you mentioned who has performed at the New Hall Auditorium. And actually, I did back in the 70s. I do Polynesian dancing, which is Hawaiian, Tahitian, and New
cool.
Zealand. And I had the opportunity as a young girl to perform there.
Wow, awesome. And just real quick mention, we have to break it. The show is our time has come to the end. The spotlight is fading slowly for this month. But there's a fine craft show at Old Orchard Park coming up, right? A quick plug for that.
Yes, tomorrow and Sunday from 10 to 5 at Old Orchard Park is our annual fine craft show. About 50 vendors or so. If you're looking for holiday gifts, it's a great place to go to get unique items.
Cool,
Encourage
cool.
you to go on out.
Thanks, Phil. Timely plug. Thank you for listening. This is your Santa Clarita City of Spotlight show on your hometown station, KHTS AM 1220.